Okay, hello guys. This is another wonderful moment. My name, as you know, Tai Peter Jejeloye. I'm here to share a very short, wonderful topic with you, and the topic is government of life. Now, when I was at work, I work with one of the lubricant plant, and there was a moment we are having one of our lecture. They are showing us about how the operation of lubricant is being made. Then I draw a very principal lesson from it, from which it's where I want to explain what life truly means. Now, there is a portion, there is a product we normally call uh, coolant. You know, this coolant where you use for motor radiator. Now, the process of making that coolant require that they bring some kind of chemicals, but the major part of the ingredient or the element they use is water. But the water is the normal water will be collected, but they will remove every or the element of oxygen in that water before they can use that water and mix with chemical to produce that coolant. Now, when I was observing this principle, that is what the guy in charge that want to produce this thing said that is how they want to produce it. Like, you know, the formula of water is H2O. So they will remove every oxygen in that water and it will remain only hydrogen. And then they will mix the chemical with it and they will produce what they need to produce, which is the coolant. Now, I draw a powerful lesson from it. Now, when what oxygen is removed from a thing, oxygen, as we know it, is a component of life in everything. Yes, the hydrogen forms the body of any element, but the oxygen is the life force of every element. Now, I draw a very powerful lesson from this ideology, from this incident. And I say, in scripture, in the Bible, the element that was used to symbolize or to represent the life force in human or the breath is oxygen, is water, is water. Now, exactly, there are elements of life. The government of life has its own laws. And sometimes we want to create our own laws to govern our own life. Imagine, the scripture said, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Meaning that the government of life has its own laws. And those laws are the ingredient or the element or the component of the life force that makes a man function effectively and what? And profitably. The moment any part is edited, now you may have the surface value of it, but the element that brings transformation and effectiveness is removed. Then I remembered that, look, when that oxygen was removed from that water and we were shown there is no different from that water to the ordinary water that oxygen is. They still retain the same body, but the component inside, the ingredient at work inside those water are not the same. Likewise, I realize that we can have a form of teachings, a form of ideology that sound logical, that sound truth, but the true element of life, which is the law, the principles, the attribute of God, is no more in those teachings. And today, because many people are not critical thinkers, they are not observers of the truth, of the element of the truth in every message they listen to, whether in family, whether in religion, whether in workplace, whether in social life. They do not, they are once anything appear artistics, look sound logical, no, you look for the element of life. So the government of life require that you look for the related principles, laws, attributes of life in everything before you finally accept it, irrespective of whatever anybody that preach it, whether of their position, title, or status. You still need to critically examine whatever is being presented to you, whatever ideology, teachings that is being presented to you, whether do they agree or do they have the component of the government of life, laws, principles, attributes, before you finally believe it or accept it as true, that will alter the perspective of your life. Thank you, and God bless.